How significant will it be for Verstappen to surpass Vettel? Does he make the case that he's the best Red Bull driver of all time?
Joe, I mean, obviously, it would be really big for him to surpass Vettel, but at this point, it's not surprising given the season that he's had. And if we're looking at the second half of that question, I feel like while with his performances, you can say that he makes the case for the best Red Bull driver. I feel like it's too early. He's too young, and it's just overall too early to call him the best Red Bull driver, given the past drivers that Red Bull has had. So I think that if we give it a few more years, that's definitely the title that he'll earn. But as of right now, I think it's a little too early.
I'm not sure it is too early. He's a three-time world champion, and you look at how many races he's won. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think all of his wins have come with Red Bull, right? Whereas Sebastian Vettel won a race in the Toro Rosso, and then obviously won several races with Ferrari there at the end of his career. I know we have more races in a season now than we did when Vettel was winning his four straight championships. But I think, if anything, it's only going to take 1 year. But I think when you look at Sebastian Vettel, obviously a very talented driver, a four-time world champion, but I think Max is certainly, if he hasn't surpassed Vettel yet, we can certainly put him on that level. Kind of breaking into that realm of multiple-time world champions and all-time greats. Verstappen is certainly there. But I will say this, though, if you want to look ahead to the future, it was only a decade ago that Sebastian Vettel won his fourth straight drivers' championship. Red Bull won their fourth straight constructors. And Vettel specifically said, we have to remember these days. There's no guarantee that they will last forever. And they did not, because the regulations changed in 2014, and then Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton went on their run of dominance. So everybody at Red Bull has to appreciate these moments and appreciate these days while they have them, because while I don't anticipate that Max Verstappen's never going to win a race for Red Bull again, just like Sebastian Vettel didn't once the 2014 season began, that the possibility of that happening is greater than zero. So, you can't take these moments for granted. You have to celebrate every win like it might be your last. I don't think it's going to be Max Verstappen's last. I think he's going to win many more races for many years to come. But there are no guarantees in this sport. All it's going to take is for a team like Mercedes, or somehow, some way, maybe Ferrari do it. I don't expect that to happen, like we were mentioning here at the beginning of this segment. But if somebody can kind of flip the switch and come up with a competitive car, if McLaren can start the season the way they've been ending their last couple of seasons, at the very least, it's going to be a lot more competitive. And I think that, Max racking off all these wins and championships, again, I don't think he's won his last race, but there are people saying, he's going to break Lewis's record and, win every championship through the end of his contract in 28. I think that's far from a guarantee. I think they have to, not take these days for granted and celebrate these moments while they're living in them here.
Yeah, Ben, you brought up a lot of excellent points. The Max Verstappen era of domination, it definitely will not last forever, and that's a given. But I'm sure Red Bull is definitely enjoying these time while it lasts, because at some point, with the regulations change coming in 2026, there might be another team out there who's gonna completely get that car right, and Red Bull might be fighting for second or third. We could see McLaren go on a run, as you mentioned, with how great they've been running. It might be McLaren and Lando Norris, McLaren and Oscar Piastri, or even both, start dominating Formula One in the next couple of years or so. Max Verstappen might be in a position where Lewis Hamilton is in right now, just trying to collect as many points as you can and get as many podiums as you can, or put yourself in the right position if something goes wrong to try to steal a win. And obviously it will be significant for Max Verstappen when he surpasses Sebastian Vettel. Definitely not if, it's when. It's just a matter of time. Two great drivers. Red Bull's lucky to have two of the best Formula One drivers to drive for their team there. And comparing the two, Vettel and Verstappen, for greatest Red Bull driver of all time, I'm not going to really get into that, but I will say, that they've done some incredible things, and their era of domination came in two completely different eras of Formula One.